And today we're going to talk about a very important tool and technique that we use in kitchens, and quite frankly it's one that's usually overlooked. So we're going to go a little bit in depth today on WDH10 Dehydrator. So dehydration as a whole is probably the most important cooking technique that we have ever come up with as humans. Think back to ancient times when we were nomadic tribes traveling around. We had to travel with our food sources because we had no way to preserve it. And anybody knows that natural food that's fresh rots very quickly. You have a very small window in which to use it and get all the nutrients and flavors out of it. On this unit, which I believe is one of the most beautiful I've ever seen, you have a see-through glass door as well. And this is very important because now I can adjust and see what's going on in my process without having to open the door and potentially introduce any pathogens or moisture into my environment that I'm trying to control. So at the end of the day, it makes me more efficient to have just a simple piece of glass that I can actually view into the unit. When you open up the unit, we have these beautiful stainless steel trays. Nice grid work, gives a lot of airflow around that product, because a big problem with dehydration and a lot of issues that happen are there's not enough airflow for the moisture to actually be removed from the product. If there isn't and the grates are too close together, or there's not enough airflow, you'll get moisture that sits and it could actually spoil the food before it dries. So it's very important that you have these grids. When you have something that's more fine, like a meringue or pulp from a juice extractor, you're going to want to use something like this, which is a silicone sheet, so none of the food that dries will stick to it, and it seals those grids so that you can have a nice uniform surface to dry out something that's more aerated, like a meringue or, like I said, starchy dough that you want to make a crisp out of. Okay. And then, if you look in the back of the unit, there's 2 fans and a heating coil. Those fans are great because they constantly run to keep airflow consistent around the product, which is very important. Stagnant air could again spoil the food and keep moisture from leaving the product. And then you have that heat coil at the back of the unit where the fan is, which is going to draw all of the moisture towards it, right? Equilibrium. Anything that's cold in the front is going to want to go to the heat in the back, and vice versa. So the moving air, the coils, keep the dehydration process steady and consistent throughout the entire time. Very important to note these effects. Now we talk about our control panel. Very easy to operate. Quite simply, just touch the power off and on button. The unit will come right on. Now if you want to power it down, you have to actually hold the button down, so that we programmed it that way so it doesn't accidentally bump and get shut off in the middle of the process. Now when you want to start a process, you simply can adjust your time and temperature easily with the capacitive touch controls. Your time over here is adjusted easily by minutes and by hours. If you want to adjust between Fahrenheit and Celsius, because some chefs like myself love Celsius, you quite simply just hold down the 2 temperature keys and the LED light will let you know you're now in the Celsius mode. Now I'm all ready to go. I'm all ready to program. I'm going to hit start, and there we go. All right, 12 hours later, wink. And we have some beautiful products. As you can see, I'm enjoying some of the beef jerky. The beautiful thing about dehydration that you'll see when you're done with your finished product is not only a color difference, but there's a taste and a texture difference that really shines and stands out. Dehydrator is really the way to go if you want a consistent fermentation program, if you want textural differences and flavor improvement on the food that you're growing, if you want to save money on buying food in bulk and buying it in season and getting a better product. All is accomplished with a food dehydrator. Thanks for taking the time to come and hang with me today. I hope you enjoyed what we had to show you, and if you have any questions, please reach out. Have a good one.